When the old theater lights dim and the familiar melodies only echo in memory, there are still faces, eyes, and voices that once haunted a generation. They are not only icons of Hollywood beauty and style, but also carry timeless stories, tragic, brilliant, and full of humanity. On the journey then and now, we will touch the memories of 5 special female stars: Vivien Leigh, the fragile Scarlett; Judy Garland, the heart-wrenching voice of every heart; Gene Tierney, the surreal beauty of a haunted soul; Hedy Lamarr, the star and genius inventor; and Veronica Lake, the woman with the hair covering her eyes who became an immortal symbol. Who are they behind the stage lights? How did they live, love, and quietly leave? Let's step into the world of the stars that never go OU. A piercing gaze and a fragile heart. Vivien Leigh was born in 1913 in British India, possessing a mysterious beauty and eyes that seemed to see through the hearts of those around her. Not only was she a silver screen star, she was also a master stage actress with an incredible ability to play a role. The whole world bowed to Scarlett O'Hara in Gone with the Wind, 1939, the role that brought her to the pinnacle of her art and brought her the first Oscar. Vivien did not just play a role, she lived in the role. The boundary between the character and herself gradually blurred. Each role seemed to carve a scar on her soul, creating a fascinating depth but also making her spirit increasingly fragile and vulnerable. After the spotlight, Vivien continued to perform on stage with her famous husband Laurence Olivier. But her life gradually became tinged with tragedy. Tuberculosis and bipolar disorder left her mind in a dark, isolated state. She died at the age of 53 in a small apartment in London, too soon for a great talent. Vivien Leigh left behind thousands of handwritten letters, diaries, and an image that will never fade: a woman who lived, loved, and was broken in the very role she played. Scarlett O'Hara may have been the character, but she was also Vivien's soul, an icon of indomitable beauty, fragile, and forever in the hearts of cinema lovers. Dorothy and the Burden of Fame. Judy Garland was born in 1922, and from a very young age, she entered the hearts of millions through the role of Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, 1939. Her trembling, soulful voice seemed to carry the sadness of a dream world. The song Somewhere Over the Rainbow is not just a song, but an echo from a soul longing to escape invisible constraints. Behind the stage lights is a Judy who is strictly controlled by the studio system, forced weight loss, injections, and non-stop acting. Little Dorothy had not yet grown up but had to bear the pressure of being a star, and gradually lost herself in the whirlpool of fame. Judy Garland was the first star that made viewers not only love her, but also feel close and familiar like a family member. When she sang, it was no longer a performance, but the confession of those who had dreamed and been heartbroken. Despite her career high point with A Star Is Born, 1954, Judy Garland's life was a sad one: drug addiction, depression, and a series of broken relationships. She died in 1969 at the age of 47, alone in a small hotel in London. Judy Garland, however, never really went away. Every time Somewhere Over the Rainbow played, the hearts of the audience tightened. She was proof that sometimes the person who brings the most light is the loneliest person behind the rainbow. Surreal faces and tragedy behind the curtain. Gene Tierney was born in 1920, appearing on screen like a fairy tale dream. Her beauty was elegant, cold to the point of surrealism. In Laura, 1944, her eyes became the haunting focus of one of the most classic noir films. Without elaborate dialogue, Jean conquered the audience with her subtle expression, making it impossible for viewers to distinguish between the character and herself. Not many people know that Jean's life was directly affected by World War II in the most brutal way. During her pregnancy, she was deliberately exposed to a fan infected with rubella, causing her daughter to be born with severe deformities. That tragedy became a lifelong obsession, leading to a series of days of depression and deep mental breakdown. Jean Tierney was hospitalized in a mental hospital, subjected to electric shocks, and faced dark days to the point of almost giving up on life. But she did not give up. After recovering, she remarried, lived a quiet life, and found peace behind the scenes, something the silver screen never gave her. She died in 1991, aged 70, leaving behind an image that was both fragile and resilient. Jean's story is a reminder that behind a picture-perfect face can be deep, bloodless wounds, but also an extraordinary will that is not easily defeated. Mysterious beauty and timeless intelligence. Hedy Lamarr was born in Austria in 1914 and was dubbed the most beautiful woman in the world. Her classic, captivating beauty and eyes seemed to have something beyond the Hollywood mold. She captivated audiences in Samson and Delilah, 1949, and a series of famous roles, but what made Hedy a legend lay behind the scenes. During World War II, Lamarr, along with musician George Antheil, invented frequency hopping technology to help prevent military communications from being intercepted. Although not used by the US military at the time, this invention later became the basis for Wi-Fi, GPS, and Bluetooth, making Hedy not only a beauty icon but also a rare genius. She once said, "People judge me for my appearance, but no one asks me what I think." It is the bitter truth of a woman who was too smart for a world that only looked at her face. Despite her talent in both film and science, Hedy Lamarr had to live her final years quietly, away from the media. She died in 2000 in solitude. It was only when modern technology exploded that the world truly looked back and honored her as a complete symbol of intelligence, beauty, and courage to break the limits. Hedy Lamarr is a shining proof that women can be both charming and genius, and that intelligence does not need to be hidden behind a curtain. The blonde icon and the lost fate. Born in 1922, Veronica Lake became a legend thanks to her signature hairstyle covering one eye, a symbol of the femme fatale style during the golden age of film noir. In works such as This Gun for Hire, 1942, her cold eyes and golden hair captivated audiences, creating an image of a woman who was both mysterious and irresistible. Veronica's hair covering one eye was not only a fashion trend but also had such a profound impact that during the war, the US military required her to change her hairstyle to avoid accidents in munitions factories, where clear vision was a vital factor. Despite her unmistakable beauty and style, Veronica's life was a series of dark days, a declining career, failed marriages, and eventually a life of poverty. She worked as a bartender, lived alone in cheap hotels, and died in 1973, aged just 50. Despite her tragic life, Veronica Lake, her signature blonde hair, piercing gaze, and proud demeanor, remains an immortal symbol of classic Hollywood, a star who will never be forgotten amid the glory and darkness. Five stories, five legends. Each of them is an angel falling from the sky of cinema, leaving behind sparkling traces and sometimes unhealed wounds. Celebrity Then and Now is not only a reminder of the past, but also a bridge that brings us back to values that never get old: dedication to art, courage to overcome adversity, and beauty from imperfections. If you think these stories deserve to be told forever, please like, share, and look forward to the next part, where other Hollywood stars are waiting for us to light up the nostalgic sky.